Gentlemen, welcome all over the world. Marcum Davis, son of Milton. And after 12 years of coaching, 450 marriages I've helped put together, dating with guys from 26 countries, it has been my joy now to condense that down to small packets of coaching and relive a lot of my experiences. And one of them is a young guy who's in his late 20s but has never dated before. And it's been an intelligent choice on his part. Yes, he's a little reserved, but he decided to pursue his career, get his house, and okay, now I'm ready to add the woman in my life. And it's just as awkward as can be. He's having a horrendous time. So I'm having to reassure him, it's okay. It's okay. 'Cause I hear this often from guys, even married guys who will say, I'm successful in so many areas of my life. I'm also coaching a doctor, and he's been married 14 years. He goes, I'm so successful in these areas. Why can't I get the thing with women down? You guys relate to that? It's like, come on, I'm a rock star over here. What is this thing? And so I really enjoyed putting this together because if I can simplify communication as something I can just deliver, then your life is better. And let's face it, the issues of women are complicated. And so I think I'm going to give you a treat today. If I can get the one word that stirs warm emotions in women, I think you're going to be winning in that area too. Listen, I assured my young client that he's okay. It's just like anything you start in life. You start driving a car, you're terrified and you think you're going to hit every car on both sides. When you do public speaking for the first time, people just have meltdowns. Even the thing you're crushing it at today in your work life, at one point it was nervous and awkward, right? And so that you can't get to great without going through good, without starting with suck. And so avoiding the suck doesn't ever help you get to great. So I'm going to help transition this entire process for you. Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers. He has this saying, anything worth doing, and you guys remember we grew up as a kid, right? We said anything worth doing is worth doing well, right? You guys heard that when you were a kid growing up? Well, Les Brown says, no, anything worth doing is worth doing terribly until you can do it well. And so we can't avoid that transitional phase. Now, I have really good news for you. If you guys remember a few weeks ago, I did that teaching on the 3 core desires of a woman's heart, the 3 core desires of a woman's heart, right? Okay. So in case you missed it, they are, 1, she wants to be pursued. 2, she wants to be an indispensable part of his adventure. And number 3 is she wants to feel beautiful in his presence. Now, it's been fun as I've gone back coaching now with married guys, with single guys. I've realized there's also a sequence to this. It's a stacking. So when you first start dating, you have to make the woman feel pursued. And there's a little bit of a teaching I'll do on a different day. For her to feel pursued means, basically it's this. The feeling of pursuit is this. It's like you're saying, hey, wait, stop a minute, woman. You fascinate me. I got to get to know more. And I'm going to block out all other women for this moment because you've just captivated my attention. And I need to spend more time with you to explore my fascination in you and see what's going on. And so that is incredibly flattering to women. So again, one thing I love to get back to sometime is what I call the art and science of flirting. Because if you're just having a good time with everybody in the world and she sees that and there's social proof, you learn how to flirt, just have a good time with everybody, regardless of who they are. It's just part of who you authentically are. Then when she sees that you have fun with a lot of people, but wait a minute, you stop and you look at her and say, wait a second, put everybody aside. I want to get to know you. You've captured my attention. You've flipped her switch. So I'm giving you some hacks here, some women hacks. But let's, in fact, it's interesting. How many of you guys have read John Eldridge's book, Wild at Heart? You've heard of that? Wild at Heart. It's one of there's like a group of like 5 essential men's book. Glover's is on there, and David Data and Iron John. Wild at Heart is one of those that is a core. Well, his wife came later and wrote a book for women, and the title of her book is Captivating. So I'm just giving you a clue. This isn't just my opinion. Even women say, they teach them strategically, you want to feel like you were captivating to a man, that he couldn't stop paying attention to you, that something you did grabbed his attention. And because of that, you're special, even if it's just for that moment when your first encounter, or whether it's somebody you're in a long-term relationship. There's a point where she feels like, out of all the women in the world, she's special. And you're fascinated by her. You're captivated by her. So let me get into it. Here's the problem we have as nice guys. Nice guys are, as you already know from all the teaching, it's a fear-based condition. And fear is what I call a misuse of imagination. You can use your imagination to do wonderful, beautiful things, but fear takes and spins the worst case scenarios. And recently, you guys have probably seen this study came out that says any dominating thought you harp on for 15 seconds, your brain will then go find others to support it. And that can go good or bad. So the problem is, we start off with this internal dialogue that says, what if I say the wrong thing? And if you stay in that zone, your brain will go, yeah, you've always said the wrong thing. Let me tell you the last time you said the wrong thing. It says, oh, I'm making mistakes. I'm just not good with women. I'm going to screw this up. She said I'm scruffy looking. A little Harrison Ford there for Star Wars fans. Go on, guys, lighten up. Be with me here. So, as we all know,
that scruffy looking nerf herder.
Nerf herder. Good. Thank you. See, I knew it. I was waiting for somebody to jump in and figure it out.
I felt I would give you some validity there.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So we all know that one paralyzing thought can lead to another. And the unfortunate problem is it ultimately creates an identity where you say, this is who I am. I am not good with women. I am this. When you get to the I am statement, you're really screwed. Now it takes an intention, a work, an effort to not only change the habit, but then to recreate a new identity for yourself. Because the truth is, any of those negative things are all lies. It's not true. It's not true. You can be good with women. You can have a good time. You can flirt with people on the street. My dad, who was a lifetime pastor, was an introverted personality type, but he taught himself how to speak on stage and be warm with people, even though he'd rather be alone by himself. Anything can be done. I've seen it. So if one thought can lead down the dark path of insecurity and internal noise, can another thought lead you into the light of day, and one that can make her feel pursued and get you out of your head? And the answer is yes. And it's so simple, but you're going to feel awkward until you do it well. It's just one word. You ready? All right. And keep this in front of your mind when you're with women, dating, long-term marriage, you're going to win. The word is curiosity. If you can genuinely be curious about somebody, some specific aspect of the woman in front of you, for example, even on your first encounter, you see her wearing a necklace. Oh, that's an interesting necklace. Is there a story behind it? And of course there is. Women do everything intentionally. So you go, oh yeah, I hear. Or even if there isn't, you go, okay, well, I just thought it was nice. You obviously put yourself together well. What she's wearing, blue looks good, but I'm just curious, is this your favorite color? What is your closet most full of? Okay, now you're starting to go to, wow, he's paying attention. He sees me and is genuinely curious, and you're picking subjects she can talk about. It's like, I have no hair. What you do is amazing. How long does it take you to get your hair ready every day? That's and she'll tell you, I go, well, listen, I'm just complimenting you for whatever work it is. It's well invested. Nice job. I appreciate the work you take to do that. When your wife starts to get emotional in any direction, don't just reply to what she's saying, but dig underneath what's stirring those emotions. Say, well, honey, what happened? What triggered all this? What's the story behind all this? She goes, all right, it was this woman at work and blah, blah, blah. Or whatever the case may be. And the truth is, curiosity is a habit. It's a practice. And more than just the woman in front of you, you can apply this to anyone you meet and you'll leave an impression that they were seen, that they were noticed. They were made to feel special. And if you practice being curious with everyone, it'll just become your authentic self. Um, not only with the woman in your life, but it becomes who you are. So if you do this everywhere, it doesn't become like this personality you have to turn on. Like the problem with the pickup artist guys, the cold approach guys, is that all of a sudden you're going to pick up these lines and do these things you don't do with anybody else. But here's a hot woman, so I'm going to try them here, and it's awkward because it's not you. You don't do this all the time. But if you learn to be curious with everybody, you're curious with her too. It's just who you are. And now, not only is it complimentary, does it captivate her attention, but it's your authentic self. And in truth, captivating this, practice and enjoy it with everybody. Become your authentic self with the women in your life, not just a person, not just a persona you put on, and it will actually generate warm emotions in them. And one word, curiosity, can change your life in every way. It can get you out of your head, because that's the problem. When we're stuck in our head, the only way to get out of it is to put a focus somewhere else. You can't focus on two things at once. So the good news is all this chewing stuff inside of here can go away if you get your focus outside of you and curious on something in front of you. And it'll check one of those three boxes, the core desires of her heart, to feel the emotions of love that she craves so much. So as we go into our breakout groups, here's our questions. What thoughts tend to ruminate in my brain that keep me feeling unsure around women? How can I be more curious with the people around me? And in what specific ways can I express more curiosity about the women in my life to make them feel warm emotions of being pursued, which they so much crave? And so with that, strength and honor, brothers, I'm in.